In today's rearview mirror, we're following four-wheeler TV to Foster Lake up in Oregon. The peaceful tranquility of Foster Lake Reservoir in the morning is gone. Hello everybody, I'm Rick DeBrule. Welcome to the inaugural edition of Four Wheeler Magazine. Over the course of the next year, we are going to take you to some of the most spectacular and fun off-road events in this country. This has to be one of them. You know, once a year, they drain the reservoir for a very important reason. To make room for more water coming down from the Cascades. And when they do that, I got to tell you, it is time for some serious fun. Mother Nature has been cooperating, slowly drizzling all morning, adding just a little more water for just a little more mud. You know, the off-roaders, they started lining up last night to come in here. They've been streaming in all morning before the day's done. They'll probably have more than 1,500 off-roaders enjoying the mud out here. Well, let's talk about the program for a moment, what it's going to be. Four Wheeler Magazine on the air is literally going to be a television version of the magazine you read. Only better. We'll give you the tech tip. We'll ask for your home videos. We'll talk with some of the best experts around the country. For example, one of them is going to be a part of our program. A guy who's run the Camel Trophy. He's run Baja. He's literally been to the ends of the earth in a four-wheel drive. Tom Collins.
Rick, today we're going to see one of the ultimate tests of man and his four-wheel drive companion, serious mud.
We've been playing out in the mud all day. It looks like you have a little bit of problem. Could you kind of fill us in what's going on?
Well, this water all came from somewhere. I don't know what happened. It got all wet.
So normally you just wipe it dry, or do you use a little bit of WD-40? That's a good trick.
WD-40, but that's back at camp, but I don't want to walk.
That dries it out pretty good though, doesn't it?
It's real good.
We've got it all out here. Little Suzuki's going in deep along with big boggers, dune buggies, even a few wild modified vehicles. Tom, it looks like a scene from Road Warrior out here. Steam rising up from the carnage, vehicles stuck everywhere. In fact, the only place on Foster Lake that's off limits is the Nova parking lot. Everything else is ready for fun. The best spots for deep mud action are easy to find. Look for the cheering spectators.
All right, now I want to know what's the secret for getting through this thing.
Put it to the floor.
Just put it to the floor and go for it?
Yep.
Now, you don't have nearly the big vehicle some of these other guys got. Is that good or bad?
Oh, it all depends.
Think you'll make it? Go for it.
Well, I thought you did a great job getting out of that hole. You were real smooth. And tell me about your vehicle. Have you done any special modifications? Because it looks pretty stock.
It's got a 4.5-inch spring over lift. It's got a 30-inch Super Stomper Thornburg tire. And that's about it.
You're not locked up or anything,
No,
are you?
it's got an electric fan for a little extra horsepower.
Well, I was watching your technique, and I saw when you went in, you did things just right. Got stuck, then you started working it back and forth, pushing mud out of the way. And what were you doing with the steering wheel to get yourself out?
I was just turning it back and forth, see if I could grip up. Either way I turn it.
A little bit of poor man's positraction
Yeah,
on that.
man.
It worked real well. You're not using a real lot of momentum. You're feeling the bottom out, aren't you?
Yep.
Those are all the techniques that we see that work. You know, you don't have to really go bashing through the mud.
The idea here is to go in as deep as you can without getting stuck. Those who do get stuck have to be pulled out, and that's where the unspoken competition is hidden. You see, there are those who get stuck and those who've mastered the mud well enough to rescue you. Therein lies the pecking order of freestyle mud bogging. You can spot the victims everywhere. The signs are unmistakable. Door open, driver out of the four-wheeler, desperate for a helping hand with the off-road equivalent of a tugboat.
The great thing about four-wheeling is everybody's got a different idea what the best way is to do it. For some, it's a classic, a 55 Willys. For others, how about a Hummer? Of course, the thing with that is you got to be careful. In our home video segment coming up, you'll see, shall we say, a little mishap that happened with one of those. Also coming up, we got tech tips. But first, we're going to have an off-road adventure, four-wheeling. That's coming up. Parents let you play in the mud at home?
Sometimes.
Not often enough, though, huh?
No.
All All right, Michael Gabriel, just one of the many people out here enjoying the Foster Mud Flats and all the adventures going on up here. But you know, there's a lot of stuff goes on all over the country. Each month we're going to show you some of the best outdoor adventures. In fact, we have our four-wheeler adventure, which this month is the Top Truck Challenge. You might call it the ultimate Olympics for four-wheeling. You have to wonder how this thing would have done at the Top Truck Challenge. You might call this the top dog out here at the Mud Flats. Sergeant Dave Clinton, for folks who've never seen one of these things before, what is it? How does it work?
It's an oversized cargo truck. We'll haul anything, go anywhere you want to go. And today, especially, it's a tow truck.
Ever been stuck before in this thing?
Never, and I don't intend to be either.
Obviously, he's very busy out here, in fact, taking care of all the guys who are stuck. You know, their goal is to get through the mud, but the reality is, if you don't get stuck every now and then, you're just not trying hard enough. But the big question is, once you get stuck like that, how do you get out? How do you do it properly? For more on that, let's go to Tom Collins.
Safe mud recovery starts with appropriate equipment for the sport. Tow straps are rated by weight handling capability. Keep in mind that a strap rated for 4,000 pounds does not mean you can yank a 4,000-pound vehicle. It must be able to handle the force of a good snatch recovery if necessary. Tow hooks with at least a grade 5 bolt and properly mounted clevis are your best bet. After a safe hookup, usually a nice easy tug from both vehicles will do the trick. If necessary, try a low-speed snatch starting with just a little slack in the strap. The most important tip for you, though, is to keep folks away from the vehicles during this maneuver. Tow straps do snap and can put a quick end to your mud bogging fun if they strike you.
You know, part of the secret of enjoying all that's going on out here at Foster Mud Flats is having the perfect vantage point. You know, a long time ago, before they made this a reservoir, it was a forest. Guess what? They cut down all the trees. They're still here, all the stumps. As a result, find one of these things. It's the perfect vantage point to watch everything. Plus, it's one of the few places you can stay above the mud. Now, coming up, we've got our home video segment. Video from folks like you who send them in from around the country. For example, the Hummer. Some people consider it the ultimate off-road vehicle. It could never get stuck, never get in any real trouble like rolling it. Well, we'll show you one that did. That's coming up. But first, we've got plenty more action here from the Foster Mud Flats on Four Wheeler Magazine. But you know, when some people get here, they head straight for the mud to go play. But you know, not everybody comes here just to play in the mud. There are those people who come just to be spectators. For example, Kathy and Larry Berry come up here. You guys have been coming up here every year, correct?
About 8 years.
What's it like up here? How do you describe it for somebody who's never been here?
Fun to watch.
Fun to watch. Now, you guys have participated in the past, but you're not driving this year. Why?
Not driving this year. Bronco wasn't ready to come up and play.
But you have brought the trusty video camera so you can take some home videos.
You betcha.
Got to take them home, show all the family, let them know exactly what they're missing.
Exactly.
All right, now that home video is important to talk about right now because, you know, that's going to become a regular part of this program. We want to see your home videos, the things you take, the pictures you see as you're out around this country doing your four-wheeling. And our first one for this first program involves, shall we say, a little mishap with a Hummer. But don't go away. We still have plenty more four-wheeler action coming up from the Foster Lake Mud Flats right after this. Stuck in the mud here at Foster Mud Flats in Oregon. You know, it's one thing to try and walk through the mud, another thing even to try and drive through the mud. But imagine trying to drive fast through the mud. In fact, that's what these guys are doing back there, drag racing in the mud. What's the secret of dragging out here?
Hooking up.
Hooking up, how do you do it?
Meaty tires.
Have you run this yet today?
No.
So, have you gotten any advice yet?
Just from him.
Think it's any good?
No.
So, what did he tell you?
Go when the first light turns yellow.
Don't even wait for the green, huh?
No, don't even wait for it, just go.